5 News This Morning starts now.
Oklahoma Highway Patrol arrests over 100 people along a stretch of I-40 suspected of being illegal immigrants. Coming up, we'll have a closer look at the investigation.
And high temperatures continue to be well above normal, but notice a little bit of a dip next week on Wednesday. We're expecting a little bit more fall-like conditions, but for the time being, it's going to stay warm and dry, maybe a spotty shower chance. Talk more about that in a little bit.
Because the federal workforce there's a lapse in funding to pay those people.
And it's day 2 of the government shutdown, where some federal workers may not get paid. Ahead, how TSA agents at XNA are now facing that reality.
But it is 6:30, a live look in Fort Smith. Good morning to you there. Thanks for waking up with us. The Marshals Museum, a beautiful sight today. And wish we could say, hey, it's a beautiful fall, crisp air kind of day. It's not feeling that way.
Summer.
No, not feeling like that. I'm still hungry when you're talking about bikes, blues, and
I was
barbecues.
wondering why you were doing that. Did you not bring your breakfast this morning?
Nacho fries.
No, I just had some, I'll just say cheese crackers. I'm not going to call it the company by name. Don't want to give them free publicity, so I had some cheese crackers this morning.
He gets hangry
I had a
in the
protein
mornings
bar.
if
It's
you
not
didn't.
the same.
Yeah, I do kind of get kind of hangry, but I'm not angry about this weather. I think a lot of
No.
people are really feeling great about this warmer conditions that we've been seeing really for the end of September. Tiffany gives it a love it. Joe, yeah, she loves it. Everyone's loving it. Temperatures right now in the low to mid 60s. Yeah, pretty much across the entire region. You can see upper 50s in Eureka Springs and Fayetteville. And this is about 10 degrees where we should be this time of year. Usually we should be about 50 in northwest Arkansas and about 56 in the River Valley. And it's a little bit warmer than yesterday morning, not by much. You can see only a degree warmer in Fayetteville, 5 degrees warmer there in Sallisaw. But generally speaking, it's a little bit warmer because we have a touch more of humidity. That dew point's a little bit higher. So we are seeing a potential more rainfall later today. In terms of fog, you can see some dense fog there in Sequoia County near Sallisaw. Otherwise, much of the rest of the area, very patchy. So if you're in Sequoia County near the Sallisaw area, especially, just be mindful heading out the door this morning. Otherwise, for the rest of us here, we'll see those temperatures in the 60s with clear skies and patchy fog if you're heading off to the bus stop. For recess or lunchtime, mostly sunny with those temperatures in the 70s. And as you're heading home, could see some spotty showers or maybe an isolated storm with a brief downpour. Again, nothing severe is expected, but we'll talk more about that storm chance. Talk about the rest of the weekend here coming up in your full forecast. For now, we'll take a live look at traffic on this Thursday morning or Friday Eve as the anchors over there call it. Take a live look along I-540 at Rogers Avenue in the Fort Smith region. Good morning to you there. Traffic moving smoothly so far on this Thursday morning, and besides maybe a little bit of patchy fog, weather should be great, and just be mindful of those showers this afternoon. We'll talk more about that and the rest of the weekend coming up in about 15 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. All right, we have some breaking news coming in for you this morning out of London, where police are on the scene of a stabbing at a synagogue.
Police say 4 people have been injured after a car was driven at members of the public. That's also when police say a man was stabbed outside of that synagogue in the north of Manchester.
Yeah, today is the Jewish holiday Yom Kippur, and according to the Associated Press, police there are still on scene, but the incident isn't quite over. The man believed to be the offender was shot by police. Of course, we're going to continue to follow the updates on this investigation. We do know in a series of posts on X there in the greater Manchester area, police are saying that they were called there to the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue, where this is unfolding. We'll bring you updates as we have them.
And new video coming out of Florida, Royal Caribbean's Serenade cruise ship, which is returning to port. The CDC confirms nearly 100 people have fallen ill with norovirus aboard the ship during a 2-week cruise from San Diego to Miami. Now, according to the CDC, there have been 19 outbreaks on cruise ships this year, 14 of them which were caused by norovirus, which causes stomach issues like diarrhea and vomiting. Well, it's now day 2 of the federal government shutdown. Thousands of federal workers are facing furloughs and possible layoffs.
Amy Kiley reports on what could happen next if a budget deal isn't reached, and soon.
Congress's first role is to make sure the government operates.
We need to reopen the government.
Leaders of both parties say the government shutdown is bad for the country, but they don't agree on how to fix it. Democrats want a funding bill that reverses Medicaid cuts and extends expiring Obamacare subsidies.
Well, what we're doing is fighting to protect the health care of the American people.
Republicans want a fairly clean continuing resolution.
The counter proposal would add $1.5 trillion in new spending on a 7-week stopgap measure. We're not doing that.
Shuttering the government is starting to have an impact. The FBI Agents Association says, quote, a shutdown can undermine the FBI's ability to perform its duties at a time when the country faces an unprecedented range of national security and criminal threats. Meanwhile, the White House says it'll soon use the shutdown as a reason to lay off federal workers.
The DOJ cuts, it's now this shutdown. I almost wonder, why would anybody want to be a federal worker?
Sources say the White House also thinks a food program for women, infants, and children could run out of money by next week. A recent survey shows about a quarter of military families rely on WIC. Service members are among the federal workers no longer getting paid.
Our military families need a solution to this.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
As the shutdown continues, some members of Congress have called for a pause in their own paychecks until the government reopens.
And back here at home, the state is already feeling some of the consequences of the shutdown. TSA agents at the Northwest Arkansas National Airport are some of the federal workers who were required to stay on the job. Veterans Affairs says it will not provide career counseling, and the regional benefits offices will be closed for the time being. Other programs across the state that rely on federal funding include Head Start, low-income energy assistance, and college grants, though it's still unclear if or when these programs will be impacted. 5 News spoke with Congressman Steve Womack last week, who said a shutdown was bad news for the country.
I'm not a fan of shutdowns. Shutdowns are problematic because they're expensive. Federal agencies have to go through a lot of gymnastics trying to plan for it. And then the added challenge is one day you got to open it back up, and under what conditions do you open it?
Governor Sanders says she's working with the Department of Finance to determine which programs will be suspended and which employees will be furloughed. Well, the next vote on the budget is expected to be tomorrow in the Senate. This is a live look right now in D.C. We'll continue following updates on those negotiations. We'll bring you any developments as they happen right here on 5 News.
The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says it's arrested over 100 people this week in a 4-day operation with Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Yeah, the operation was focused on a stretch of I-40 near the state's border with Texas. Troopers say they arrested a total of 120 people suspected of being illegal immigrants. Troopers say most were driving large commercial vehicles without proper documentation at a port entry into western Oklahoma.
Every commercial motor vehicle that enters into the state has to stop at that port of entry. Nearly 25% of the people that we came into contact with were not here legally.
Well, the Highway Patrol says ICE agents transported any undocumented people to holding facilities in Oklahoma and Texas.
Fayetteville police say that they've made several arrests for child sex crimes after a 3-day operation involving the Department of Homeland Security. A total of 7 men ranging in age from 25 to 57 were arrested. The crimes include internet stalking of a child and failure to register as a sex offender. You can find the suspects' names and more information about the investigation on our website, which is 5newsonline.com.
Well, this month, the Mill District, our Synagogue location in Fayetteville, will close after 4 years.
5 News reporter Emily Moss spoke to the owner about the difficult decision and joins us live there with the details. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Joe and Tiffany. Co-owner Carrie Ortega said this was purely a financial decision. They put a lot of money into this building, renovating it into a restaurant, but it raised their mortgage. And now, 4 years later, after it's opened, it's the only location they own that's currently losing money. The location was sold earlier in the summer. Carrie Ortega tells me all other locations, including the drive-thru on MLK and cafe at Church and Center, will remain open. Ortega says the restaurant will be replaced by a gluten-free bakery with new owners. However, those owners still want to use Ortega's coffee, so baristas will be trained for it. Carrie says after 4 years at the Mill District, he'll always keep the memories he's made here close to his heart.
This has been a gathering place for a lot of people. We've had weddings here and memorial services. It goes past just feeding people, brunch. It's been a community space. And that's why I say it's bittersweet, because I love coming here, I love working here, and I'm surely going to miss it.
Looking forward, the Arcegas, now closing this location, are now looking for a new location. They're hoping to open one on Mount Sequoia. It would be like a cafe, but also a community space, so they can still hold those public forums, community art shows, music, like they have at this Mill District, where people love it so much. This location, though, will close on October 19th. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. Well, a new mini grant program is now open for property and business owners in Fort Smith's downtown district.
It's an incentive program that pays them back some cost of improvement projects. The mini grant is funded through Main Street Arkansas and the Department of Heritage. It'll offer reimbursement grants ranging from $1,500 to $7,500.
The Main Street executive director says that the program is designed to support several businesses at once.